What's going on YouTube? It's Unger to the Max here, and a salute to you. And the Browns rocket has definitely gone from going like this to going boo, just like that. Why? Because the Browns just fired their head coach Hugh Jackson, whose record going into his third after yesterday's game, after yesterday's destruction by the Pittsburgh Steelers by a score of let me think about this. What was the score of the Browns Steelers game? What was the score of the Steelers Browns game? Let me check with Siri. She'll know. Oh, I know. It was Pittsburgh 33, Cleveland 18. Great job, Browns. Round of applause. Way to show up and actually play. Not. That was absolutely pathetic. Ugh. What looked like a promising start to the season, through the first 4 games of the season, despite losing to the Raiders and despite losing to the Saints and Raiders, it looked like a promising start to the season. Tying the Steelers week 1 at home 21-21, barely losing to the Saints 21-18 in New Orleans, which, by the way, I think the Rams are going to go down to New Orleans and they will lose. This will be the week where the Rams suffer their first loss. They were lucky to win that game yesterday against the Packers. If Ty Montgomery doesn't try running it out of the end zone, who knows? Aaron Rodgers could have led the Packers down the field and scored the game-winning touchdown or field goal. Of course, that's not what happened, but and I know, as a historian, you're not supposed to say what if this and what if that, but I like to, so that's my way of thinking. But, as I was saying, so the Browns tied the Steelers week 1 in the home and season and home opener 21-21. Could the Browns have won that game if Baker Mayfield had been starting? Maybe. But we'll never know. Week 2, down in New Orleans at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. By the way, week 1 was at First Energy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. Week 2, down in New Orleans at Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Supposedly, Zane Gonzalez had a hamstring injury. But, he left 8 points on the board. 2 missed field goals, and 2 missed extra points. Yeah, so there. And then week 3, when the Browns beat the Jets on Thursday Night Football, total fluke. Why? Because the Jets were not preparing for Baker Mayfield. They had been practicing the whole week, expecting only Tyrod Taylor to play. Now, you can't account for injuries. I get that. But my point is, the Jets were not prepared for Baker Mayfield. So he came in and lit them up like a Christmas tree. So, week 4 in Oakland, I blame that one on the defense. You're up and leading in the 4th quarter. The Raiders are terrible. I mean, for God's sakes, they traded away Khalil Mack, arguably their best defensive player. And then what did they do? I mean, it wasn't the week they played the Browns, but they just traded Amari Cooper for a first-round pick to America's team, the Dallas Cowgirls. Yeah, I'll call them. I don't care. I'm calling them the Dallas Cowgirls because that's what they are. Because they're like, oh, we're the Dallas Cowboys. We play in the best stadium in the NFL, in AT&T Stadium. Shut up. You are not America's team. Give me a freaking break. But anyway. So the Browns should not. The Browns should not have lost that game. No way. Browns should not have lost that game, but they did. And then week 5, against the Ravens, another fluky game. Ravens couldn't find the end zone, and the Browns scored a touchdown. But did the kicker make the extra point? No. And the game-winning kick in overtime. That was one of the most pathetic game-winning field goals I've ever seen. I was live streaming on the main concourse because I don't like pyrotechnics and the loud bangs that the Browns use now when they score. So I decided to not stay in my seat for that. But I was live streaming, and when the kick was going up, I thought it was no good because it went like this. If this is the goalpost, it went like this, up and over, just barely. I thought it was no good. Let's see, and then you get destroyed at home by my favorite team in the AFC. The LA Chargers, 38-14, and then you go on the road and another overtime game, and you lose on a 59-yard field goal to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 26-23. Week 3 was at home, First Energy Stadium. Week 4 was at O.Co Coliseum. The Raiders, when are the Raiders moving to Las Vegas? Is it next year? Is this their final season in Oakland? Or is next year their final season in Oakland? I don't know. But the A's and Raiders need to get out of that stadium. That stadium is garbage. But anyway, week 5 was at First Energy Stadium. Week 6 was at First Energy Stadium. Week 7 was at Raymond James Stadium. And Week 8 was at Heinz Field. Week 9 will be back at First Energy Stadium. But the Browns are going to lose that game. Because guess who they're playing? The Kansas City Chiefs. How? You just fired your head coach. How do you expect to now get ready for a team that has a quarterback that is putting up ridiculous numbers in his rookie year? I know it's technically his second season in the NFL, but I'm still calling it his rookie year because last year he was sat out most of the games and only played in one actual game. So, which was week 17 against the Broncos, which meant nothing because the Chiefs had already clinched the AFC West. So, like I said, that game meant nothing. So, and then you have to try and contain Tyreek Hill, Kareem Hunt, Sammy Watkins, Travis Kelce. Good luck, Browns. You're going to need it. And then week 10, you get to play Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Tevin Coleman, and the Atlanta Falcons. Good luck with containing that offense, Browns. And then week 11, I think, is their bye week. Hang on. Let me get out the Browns' schedule. Because I don't know if I see any winnable games left on the Browns' schedule. You know what? I don't. Hang on. Where is my Browns app? I don't know why I still have the Browns app, honestly. But, let's see. Schedule. Alright. So, we are on week 9 now. So, home against... This is the Browns' remaining schedule. Home against Kansas City. Browns are going to lose that game. Week 10, home against Atlanta. Browns lose that game. Bye week. Week 12, at Cincinnati. Could win that game, but probably not. Week 13, at Houston. Yeah, the Browns are going to lose that game. Week 14, home against Carolina. The The Browns won't be able to contain Cam Newton, Christian McCaffrey, DJ Moore, Greg Olsen. No. Week 15 at Denver, that could be the one remaining game that the Browns might actually be able to win, but probably not. Week 16, home against Cincinnati. Yeah, I don't see the Browns winning that game. Denzel Ward has problems against big physical wide receivers. And then week 17 at Baltimore, Ravens will probably be fighting for the AFC North division title with Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. So the Browns are going to lose that game. So the only winnable game I see remaining on the Browns' schedule is not until week 15 at Denver. But then again, I don't know. Maybe I'm being up to... Maybe, I don't know. But I don't know why the Browns didn't do this right. I don't see how it makes sense to fire the head coach in the middle of the season like this. I think it would have made more sense to either fire him at the beginning of the season or at the end of the season. The Browns aren't going to go to the playoffs. They're not going to go to the Super Bowl. They're not going to win the AFC North. I get it. Trust me, I get it. But my point is, like, I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. Let the season play out, pretty much. Even though you're probably going to finish, 2-14-1, I think? Yeah, 2-14-1, something like that. I think. Yeah, 2-14-1. But, yeah, maybe 3-13, maybe 3-12-1, maybe. There were people predicting the Browns would win 6 games this year. Yeah, that ain't happening. Because like I said, they're not beating Kansas City. They're not beating Atlanta. They're not beating Cincinnati. They're not beating Houston. Not beating Carolina. Maybe beating Denver. Maybe. Not beating Cincinnati again. And you're not beating Baltimore in Baltimore. Like I said, that was a total fluke. What's up, Engraven Vids? I know any given Sunday, I get it. But our game against the Browns game against you, like I said, complete and total fluke. Complete fluke. The Ravens just couldn't find the end zone. Yeah. Complete and total fluke. That simple. So, I'm not sure if I'll have season tickets next year or not. But hopefully I will, because I'll get to see the Browns play my favorite team in the NFL, the Seattle Seahawks. And speaking of the Seahawks, I have a little bit of a dilemma. Because this coming week, my favorite team in the AFC travels to the Pacific Northwest to play my favorite overall team in the NFL, the Seattle Seahawks. And of course, my favorite team in the AFC is the Los Angeles Chargers. So, who do I root for in this game? Do I root for the Chargers or do I root for the Seahawks? Unfortunately, I won't be able to watch the game because for some reason they're not broadcasting the game here after the Chiefs-Browns game, which I'm very disappointed about because I really wanted to watch that game. I mean, I might be able to watch it through the NFL app, but I wanted to be able to watch it on TV and live stream during it. I don't know if I'll be able to do that. But the one game, if I'm back in time for it, the one game I will be live streaming is Rams at Saints. First off, this should be a primetime game, not a game in the 4 o'clock window. Now, I get it. It's America's Game of the Week. It's going to be on Fox. Joe Buck and Troy Aikman are going to be the ones broadcasting it. But still, it should be a Sunday night matchup or a Monday night matchup. Not Thursday night. No. That would ruin it. that would ruin this game for me. I hate Thursday night football. It's very stupid. Doesn't give the players enough time to recover after playing on Sunday the previous week. We just played a tough physical game on Sunday. Do we have a Sunday game the next week? No, we have a game on Thursday. Oh, so I only have 4 days for my body to recover, and I only have 4 days to get ready for my next opponent. Great sequence! Not. The NFL seriously needs to get rid of Thursday night football. I guess this is less of a Browns rant and more of just an NFL rant. But that's fine. But I like that Packers Patriots is on Sunday Night Football. It's Aaron Rodgers against Tom Brady, which the Packers should have beat the Rams yesterday. If only Ty Montgomery had just taken the knee in the end zone. But he did. And the Rams went on to win 29-27. Oh, well. But, the Monday Night Football matchup this week is Tennessee at Dallas. What? Why? I mean, yeah, both teams are 3-4. And Amari Cooper is making his Cowboys debut. But that doesn't get me that excited about this game. I'm like this about the Titans-Cowboys Monday night game. I'm like, okay, yay. But Rams-Saints, I'm like, let's go Saints! Or I'm just really excited for this game because you got two high-powered offenses going head-to-head, and you got the Super Bowl favorites, because the Rams are the Super Bowl favorites. I mean, how can they not be? Going against a team that won Super Bowl 44 against the Colts and could be threatening to win another Super Bowl in the future. Who knows? This could be a possible NFC Championship preview. I just think if the Sunday night matchup wasn't Packers-Patriots this week, the NFL should flex. If it was like, I don't know, if Chiefs-Browns was the Sunday night football game for some dumbass reason, the NFL should flex Rams-Saints into that slot and make that the Sunday night matchup. I mean, come on. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it now. The Saints will beat the Rams this week in New Orleans at the Superdome. And the Rams will no longer be undefeated. I potentially see 3 losses for the Rams in their remaining schedule. This week at New Orleans, their Monday night Mexico game against Kansas City, and when they go to Chicago to play the Bears. Those are the 3 games where I see the Rams losing. The game I'm most confident in them saying that the Rams are going to lose is this coming week in New Orleans. I don't think the Rams are going to be able to keep up with Drew Brees and that ridiculous Saints offense in New Orleans. Yes, the Rams have Todd Gurley. I get it. And yes, Jared Goff is playing out of his mind. I get that. And yes, the Rams have a great pass rush with Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh. I get it. Trust me. I get it. But there's just something about trying to stop the Saints in the Superdome that the teams can't seem to do. Hey, Washington, you're in first place in the NFC East, but how did it go when you played Drew Brees on Monday Night Football in New Orleans? How did it go? It went shitty, right? Yeah. Who else has... Ask the Browns about playing the Saints in New Orleans. They lost. 21-18. Who else has played the Saints in New Orleans this season? Let's look at the Saints' schedule. I don't think the Saints have lost it. No, the Saints did lose at home once. Week 1 against Tampa Bay. But since then, I don't think they've lost at home. Let's see. Yeah, they lost 48-40 week 1 at home. Beat the Browns week 2. No, they've only had 3 home games. Their next home game is at the is this coming week against the Rams. Let's see, what remaining home games do the Saints have? Home against the Rams, the Saints are going to win that. Home against the Eagles, I think the Saints can win that. Home against the Falcons, I think the Saints can win that. Maybe. Home against the Falcons could be tough. Let's see. Home against Pittsburgh. That's going to be a really good game. I'm not sure. That's going to be a great game, actually. Roethlisberger against Breeze. Juju Smith-Schuster, Antonio Brown against Marshawn Lattimore, Eli Apple. And then Michael Thomas, Mark Ingram, and Alvin Kamara against that Steelers defense. Ooh, that's going to be a really good game. And then Panthers at Saints. That's always a good game. But I think the Saints will have a favorable home schedule. They play the Rams and Eagles both at home. They play the Steelers at home. They still have to play Atlanta and Carolina at home. I mean, they still have to play at Carolina as well. But, yeah. But anyway, back to the main point of this video. So, sorry, I went off on a little bit of a tangent. But, yeah, Hugh Jackson got fired to that. So, yeah, like I said at the beginning of this video, at the beginning of the season, the Browns were looking like this, going up and up and up, even though they had lost 2 of their first 4 games. But they tied with the Steelers week 1, barely lost to the Saints week 2, won against the Jets week 3, and barely lost to the Raiders in week 4, and beat the Ravens in week 5. So, yeah. But, yeah, their season was going up like this. But, I mean, you lost 3 in a row now, starting week 6 against my favorite AFC team, the Los Angeles Chargers, 38-14, losing by 24. Then you lose on a 59-yard field goal to the Buccaneers in Tampa Bay, thanks to Chandler Catanzaro. And then you'll get blown up by the Steelers, 33-18, which I believe is a 15-point difference. Let's see. 33 minus 18. Yep, 15. So they lost to the Steelers by 15. And in his 3 years as head coach, Hugh Jackson went 3-36-1. And that includes going 0-16 last year. And the year before that, it took a game-winning field goal for the Browns to get their 1 win against the then San Diego Chargers. The Chargers should still be in San Diego. I'm very upset about that. Just like the Sonics should still be in Seattle. I'm very upset about both of those. I wish there was something I could do as a single person here in Cleveland to help push the causes to bring the Chargers back to San Diego and bring the Sonics back to Seattle. I wish there was something I could do. I don't know. But anyway, I mean, when you go 3-36-1, do you have any choice but to fire the head coach? I don't see it. But I think you need to keep the rest of the coaching staff. Now, I don't know who the Browns head coach is going to be the rest of the season. I think it's going to be Todd Haley, but I don't know. But I think Haley's offense is working. It's just some games it doesn't work correctly. And also, since that week 3 Thursday night game against the Jets, defenses have been able to see film of Baker Mayfield and have been able to scheme for him. They haven't had to worry about, designing their defense for Tyrod Taylor. Like this week, Kansas City is basing their defense on Baker Mayfield, not Tyrod Taylor. And the Falcons next week, they're basing their defense on Baker Mayfield, just like the Raiders did, just like the Ravens did, just like the Chargers, the Buccaneers, even though the Buccaneers have fired their defensive coordinator, and just like the Steelers. Everybody since week 3 on Thursday Night Football has been game planning for Baker Mayfield. So he's got to learn to make adjustments. Now, here's what I don't get. Now, I know Amari Cooper and Josh Gordon aren't necessarily on the same level, but how do the Raiders get a number 1 draft pick for Amari Cooper, but the Browns get a 5th round pick for Josh Gordon? Hold on 1 second, I gotta use the restroom. I'll be right back. My apologies about that. Yeah, but the Browns, I don't know what to make of the Browns anymore. A few weeks ago, I was like all in on the Browns, going, "Yay, Browns! We're making some progress here." Now I'm back to laughing at the Browns. What would be fun is to take a crane, attach a circus tent to it, and put it over the Browns stadium. Because the Browns are a circus act right now. And you know what the name Browns means? Poop. That's what they should put. They should put the poop emoji on their side of the helmet. Because that's what the Browns are right now. They're crap. I seriously thought that the Browns could win 6 or 7 games this season. Yeah, you know why I say that? Wishful thinking. Yeah. Should they have beat the Saints week 2? Yes. Should they have beat the Raiders week 4? Yes. Should they have beat the Steelers week 1? Don't know. Should they have beat the Chargers week 6? No. Because the Chargers definitely and badly outplayed them. It's like the defense didn't even show up. Tyrell Williams caught a touchdown pass in triple coverage. What? You have triple coverage on the wide receiver, and you don't come up with the interception? That does not compute to me. It just doesn't. The Browns are a complete and total dumpster fire. What they better not do is when the NFL draft comes around, they go, we drafted Baker Mayfield number 1 overall, and but we don't trust him, so we're gonna draft another quarterback. They better not do that. Think of that would destroy Baker Mayfield's confidence. I don't think they will. The Browns need to draft a wide receiver. That's what they really need. All you have right now is Jarvis Landry. I mean, Antonio Callaway shows up at times, but on other plays, it seems like he disappears. So I don't know what to say. I really don't. I mean, you trade Carlos Hyde to the Jaguars for a 5th-round pick. You trade Josh Gordon to the Patriots. Oh, I mean the Cheat-Riots. Spygate. Deflategate. Yeah. Yeah. Brady's punishment for Deflategate was pathetic. 4 games? You're kidding me, right? He deserved more than that. Very stupid. Very stupid. And guess what? Who did Brady come back against after his suspension? Oh, that's right, the Cleveland Browns, and lit him up like a Christmas tree in that game. Yeah, the Browns just have that sort of dumb luck. So, I don't know what to say about the Browns anymore. I really don't. I really and truly do not know what to say about the Browns anymore. I mean, I will say, Cleveland has some of the most passionate and diehard Browns fans I've ever seen, or NFL fans I've ever seen. But instead of rewarding the fans with a team that's watchable and winning games and making the playoffs, instead Cleveland gets a team that constantly drafts new quarterbacks, constantly drafts or fires their head coach and hires a new head coach and can't seem to get past 3 wins to save their life. Last time I think they made the playoffs was 2002. Never been to the Super Bowl. Yeah. The Browns are a complete... Well, guess what? The Browns I just got breaking news. Not only is Hugh Jackson fired, but the Browns offensive coordinator, Todd Haley, is fired. What, is Greg Williams going to be next? What's going to be left of this team? What? I mean, I don't know what to say to this team, about this team anymore. So, what? The Browns are a complete and total dumpster fire. I mean, you can be their head coach, but it'll only last for like 3 seasons. You can be their QB, but it will probably only be like 2 seasons at most that you get. Yeah. You can be their GM, but it will probably only last 2 or 3 seasons. Yeah. Like, why did I'm still trying to wrap my head around this one. Why did Mike Pettin get fired? In 2014, if the Browns had beaten the Indianapolis Colts in, hang on. If the Browns had beaten the Colts in what was it? Hold on. If the Browns had beat the Colts, I know it was 2014. Week 14 against the Colts, the Browns probably could have made it to the playoffs as a wild card team. But no. The Colts came back and won that game 25-24. So that's why I will never forget the 2014 Indianapolis Colts for that game. Yeah. Just like I'll never forgive the Colts in 2007 either. Yeah. So I don't like the Colts. Because in 2014, they came back and beat the Browns and prevented the Browns from going to the playoffs. And then in 2007, all they needed to do was beat the Tennessee Titans on Sunday Night Football in Indianapolis, and the Browns would have gone to the playoffs. But that didn't happen. Yeah. So, yeah. If the season were to end today, the Browns would be playing the NFC West next. The schedule. If the season were to end today, this is what the schedule would look like. Hold on. Hold on a sec. Let me also turn up the volume on this. I don't know why I didn't think of that either earlier. Where the heck is that music coming from? Okay, I already have that link saved. Alright. Cleveland Browns future schedules. Alright. So let me just go over the Browns' upcoming schedules for the next few seasons. Not like times and dates, but in 2019, the Browns will play at home against the Buffalo Bills, the Miami Dolphins, Los Angeles Rams, and Seattle Seahawks. And the AFC South same place finisher. So right now that would be the Indianapolis Colts. And away they would be at the New England Patriots, at the New York Jets, at the Arizona Cardinals, at the San Francisco 49ers. And AFC West same place finisher. So right now, that would be, I believe, that would be the Oakland Raiders. So, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so that's great. So the Browns get to play the AFC East next season and the NFC West. And of course, they play Baltimore, Cincinnati, and Pittsburgh. In 2020, the Browns will be home against the Texans, home against the Colts, at Philadelphia, home against Philadelphia, Washington, AFC West, same place finisher, and then home against Baltimore, Cincinnati, and Pittsburgh. At the Tennessee Titans, at the New York Giants, at the Jacksonville Jaguars, at the Dallas Cowgirls. Okay, I meant Dallas Cowboys. And AFC East, same place finisher. Also at Baltimore, at Cincinnati, and at Pittsburgh. 2021, home against Denver, home against Oakland, home against Chicago, home against Detroit, AFC South, same place finisher, home against Baltimore, home against Cincinnati, and home against Pittsburgh. Away, at Green Bay, at Kansas City, at the LA Chargers, at the Minnesota Vikings, at the AFC East, same place finisher, and at Baltimore, at Cincinnati, and at Pittsburgh. 2022 regular season schedule. At home against New England, home against the Jets, home against the Saints, home against Tampa Bay, AFC West, same place finisher, home against Baltimore, home against Cincinnati, and home against Pittsburgh, and at Atlanta, at Buffalo, at Carolina, at Miami, at the AFC South, same place finisher, at Baltimore, at Cincinnati, and at Pittsburgh. So those are the future opponents. But like I said, if the season were to end today, the 2019 AFC South same place finisher would be the Indianapolis Colts. And the AFC West same place finisher would be Oakland. So that means the Browns would be at Denver and at home against Indianapolis. Yeah. So, I mean, the Browns are a young team, so I think that it's a desirable coaching job. I don't know, though. I mean, they just fired their offensive coordinator, so I'm not sure. Is Greg Williams going to be fired, too? I don't know what to expect from the Browns this week against Kansas City now. What's the offense going to look like? This is terrible. I mean, it's bad enough that you just fired the head coach. But to fire the offensive coordinator, that's one of the worst things you could do, especially for Baker Mayfield. I mean, he was the number 1 overall pick, Heisman Trophy winner, and I thought he was having somewhat of a promising start to the season. Now you just, destroyed all of his progress for the remainder of the season. I don't know. I'm dumbfounded as to what to say about this dumpster fire that's known as the Cleveland Browns. I just wanted to take a moment and mourn the loss of the Cleveland Browns. Although, I don't know how long I would be mourning if that was the case. What was I just going to say? I do have to start wrapping this up. Oh, also, the Cavaliers fired Tyronn Lue, so that's great. Not. I mean, he won us an NBA championship in 2016. And then you get rid of him. I mean, we were 0-6 to start the season, so it makes sense. But, I don't know. Yesterday, Tyronn Lue gets fired. Today, Hugh Jackson and Todd Haley. What's going to happen tomorrow? The Indians are going to fire Terry Francona? Okay, that's hypothetical. I don't think the Indians are actually going to fire Terry Francona. But it could happen. Probably not, though. Yeah, the Browns are a total dumpster fire, though. They're pathetic. I don't know why they were chosen for Hard Knocks. I don't know what to say about this team anymore. I really don't. I can't be. I'm not happy. I mean, I want to be a Browns supporter and a true Browns fan. I really want to, but I don't see how you can do it now. How can you be a Browns fan right now? How? How can you be a Browns fan? I'm just being honest. How can you be a Browns fan right now? I'm lost for words. I'm lost for words. This is going to be like the 31st head coach that the Browns are going to hire. And whatever number offensive coordinator. Meanwhile, the Steelers have only had 3 head coaches. Mike Tomlin, Phil Cowher, and I don't remember who the third one is. And Ben Roethlisberger has been their QB for the longest time. Taking them to 3 Super Bowls. Won 2, lost 1. Super Bowl 40 against Seattle, he won that game. Super Bowl 43 against Arizona, he won that game. But he lost Super Bowl 45 against Green Bay. And the Ravens, John Harbaugh has been the coach for a long time. The Ravens have won Super Bowl 47. And I'm not sure why Marvin Lewis is still the head coach in Cincinnati, honestly, because they won the AFC North, but can't win a playoff game. Yet these head coaches have been stable. But the Browns are like, oh, 1 season, you're gone, bye. I mean, they kept Mike Pettin around for 2 seasons, but then we're like, oh, you're gone. Bye. Hugh Jackson, into his 3rd year. Oh, you're gone. Bye. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I really don't. the Browns have me dumbfounded. So that's gonna do it for this video. And this is Unger to the Max signing off by saying go Cavs. Let's get our first win against Atlanta. Go Blue Jackets. Let's win our next game against who do the Blue Jackets play in their next game? Let's see. Let's see here. Who is the next opponent for the Columbus Blue Jackets? Hold on 1 second. And I'll keep going with my sign off. Go Blue Jackets beat the Red Wings. You know what? I'm just gonna say it. Go Chargers beat the Seahawks. No, go Seahawks beat the Chargers. No, go Chargers beat the Seahawks. I don't know who to root for in this game. Because they're my two favorite teams in all of the NFL. And they're playing each other. Who do I root for in this game? Do I root for the Chargers or do I root for the Seahawks? Anyway, so I don't know. Let's see. Go Bears beat the Bills. Go Jaguars. I don't know who they're playing, but somehow win your next game. I don't know if that's going to happen though, because Blake Bortles is pathetic. And go Saints beat the Rams, which will happen. And the Browns are going to lose to the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah. The Browns have no chance against Kansas City.